I'm gonna start recording this too, just for if folks aren't don't catch it right away. Okay, so because we're on a little alignment kick, I want to just show you a couple of like nice tools for getting nice alignment, and then I can show that alignment tool that Sage brought up. But I just want to like talk about, so alignment is like just such a nice tool to use, or design element to use to just be able to really quickly organize information on a page. I had a classmate who will remain anonymous he would send me his like InDesign layouts, and he'd be like, "Hey Ian, what do you think of like the balance of this?" And there are always things that were a little misaligned. And so I would send back like, oh, the bottom right-hand corner icon is a little misaligned. Try adjusting it and send me like another iteration of that layout. And he would do that and send it to me. And the icon in the bottom right seemed even more off than it was before. And we would go about this for 3 years of our education. And it wasn't until the end of his program where he learned about grids and guides and how important they are for layouts. And he was so excited and over the moon. And he told me about learning about this, and suddenly it clicked and made so much sense to me why his layouts were always off. And whenever I tried to help him, they seemed to turn out to be more off. And it was because he was never working with any sort of guides for his layouts. There's definitely hotkeys, which I should have my paper or taped up on my wall, but I don't have it up yet. So I'm going to show you kind of the slower way to find these things. So if we go into view, there's sort of in Illustrator, two different places we can either show our grid, which I find the grid to be just a little bit messy. So I often will use the grid at first just to get general alignment ideas. And then once I start, especially if I get into like that axe situation where my perfect alignments feel off and I need to go more off on my gut, I will go to view, guides. Oh, I already have guides available. So view, rulers, show ruler. And this will open up a ruler along the edges of your screen. And from the ruler, you can click and drag and make your own guidelines. And so what I can do is I can kind of make my own guide of where I want the top and bottom of the very top and bottom of each rectangle to be. And we can call this guideline our center line. So I'm going to turn off my, you can also find these in the properties when you're kind of don't have anything selected in your Illustrator file. I can turn off the grid so it's a little bit cleaner, and I'm going to lock my guides because right now, if they're unlocked, they're easy to move and they kind of get in the way. So guides are just kind of meant to be helpful there. We don't want them to move. So I'm going to bring my rectangle, my top rectangle, and my bottom rectangle kind of aligned roughly with this center line. There might be a faster way, but I'm just going to click. Sweet. So these two are roughly aligned. I'm selecting both the top and the bottom rectangle, and I can make them perfectly align to themselves by looking at this property panel in the right side. You can see there's this align window, which shows all different options of how to align things. I do recommend just like doing what I'm doing and just kind of clicking around to see all the different options there are. But I can click this horizontal align center. So now they're perfectly aligned in the middle. And I'll select all of these just to kind of show that it's for sure working. So now they're perfectly aligned, and I can if I select them all and hit, let's see, select them all, go to move them and hit shift, they kind of stay true to, they move perfectly horizontal from where they started. So now these are all aligned perfectly in the center. And to make it a little bit more dramatic, I'll change some of this alignment. Another powerful tool that I'll often use from the alignment section is, so I think it's this tool, the the distribute spacing tool. So when we hit that, what it does is it'll create an equal amount of space between every single object within your selection. And so that allows you to have even spacing if you have multiples of something that need to be aligned. But yeah, I recommend, just like make a couple shapes and try playing around with the different types of alignment that they have. There's also alignments. Let's see, there we go. So on this right section, there's aligning within the page. Or sorry, that's actually perfect center alignment. Somewhere in here, I think there's one that will allow you to align perfectly in the page. Don't know if it exists. Let's see if there's any others. Yeah, I think these are the big alignment tools that I'm aware of in Illustrator. And then it's the same, very much similar tools in InDesign. So let's see, control. Sweet, I remember that one. All right. So in InDesign, we can go to properties and we can see document grid, which is adjustable. There's different ways we can change it up if we need. Let's see, baseline grid we already have. And then guides. And so the guides are very much the same. I'm not sure if I had this or if this ruler is up every time for InDesign, but you can press Control R to turn it on and off. And again, it's the same. You can just click and drag, and that will allow you to create guidelines. And then while we're working, so I can press M to build shapes. Fill that. It's the same alignment tool. So in this property panel, you can see that we have the same tools as we do in Illustrator to align things. Let's see, center align, push them all together if we want. So if we had multiples, I just learned this particular alignment tool, this distribute spacing, not too long ago, and it really changed how I do everything. Like it makes my graphics way cleaner, but it's that equal spacing. Yeah, so that's the alignment in Illustrator and InDesign. Any questions? Does anyone else have any tips or tricks? Sweet.